We are up on YouTube.
Let me know when, Dennis.
Yeah.
Okay. Up on YouTube.
Let me know when, Dennis. I'm going to start now.
1 more minute, Steve.
Oh, okay. Yeah, are you going to let me know when to go?
Yeah, I'll just give it to you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
1 more minute, Steve.
Oh, okay. Yeah, are you going to let me know?
Steve, don't break a hip, just a leg, just a leg.
Thank you.
Steve, don't break a hip.
Okay, you guys are being seen. Okay, folks. Okay, folks.
Thank you.
Silence. People can hear this on YouTube.
Don't break a hip.
Okay, you guys are being seen. Okay, folks. Okay, folks. Silence. People can hear this on YouTube. Okay, Steve, anytime, it's yours.
Okay. Well, welcome to our first virtual HOA social on Zoom. I'm Steve Turkowitz, and I do have my pants on, by the way. Well, hopefully seeing my face on Zoom will not cause drowsiness, so please don't operate heavy machinery. This past year has presented many challenges, combined with personal loss and sadness. Wishing everyone a positive path moving forward. And being at home for a year, you know, I like to make observations, things that I see, and I just jotted down a couple of things that, and I'm sure everyone has their own, but I also found that the friends that don't usually call, they're still not calling me. I don't know what that is. And, you know, being home all the time, I can now tell you my wife has 137 freckles. I've been very busy. One of the things that I'm hoping for is that Tiki Night, when we finally start, maybe they'll move it to 5 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. That would be terrific. Now, some of you might have done a video wine group. I know we did. And it was very interesting being online and having a couple of cocktails. But my nighttime driving skills improved by being at home. So that worked out good. Since we've all been doing things around the house, my wife gave me a honey-do list. And that list is as long as war and peace. That's a biggie. Now, as you can see, I gave myself many haircuts and I got to great clips. The stylist couldn't stop laughing. And if you can see, I chopped up my whole head trying to cut my own hair. So I am wishing and hoping that the Sears Craftsman comes back, you know, with the shaver, you know, or I can get the Flowbee if you can ever find one of the Flowbees. Some of the other things is, who knew that during this pandemic, our partners would turn out to be terrific manicurists? We had a lot of free time. My wife and I are starting to look like one another. You always hear that about dogs, but now my wife and I are looking the same, and I don't look good in a dress, so we'll go from there. My biggest decision of the day is whether to wear my daytime or my nighttime pajamas. Something else I noticed was that toilet paper became more valuable than single malt scotch. We learned one important thing during this pandemic, and probably the biggest thing of all is Santec is definitely going to have to increase the size of their recycle bins. They just need to be bigger. So I thank everybody for attending. I'm just going to go through our quick agenda. Dennis? There'll be comments from Ken Litke, HOA president. Upcoming events, Cheryl Warmbold, who's our HOA vice president, social planning. Advocacy update with Mark Pantley. He's also our HOA vice president of Advocacy. We have 3 guest speakers, terrific today. Muddy Boots with Carol Gillies and Lisa Warner. The Tellico Village Computer Users Club with Larry McJunkin. And Our Place with Cindy Rogers, followed by door prizes that Jackie Starnes will give out. So please don't leave early. I mean, you might win something really nice. And I'd like to hand this off to our HOA president, Ken Litke. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. You're always a tough act to follow, and thanks for your insights on the past year that you've experienced with the pandemic. I'm sure we all can share a lot of those same experiences as you talked about then, the same kind of things. And here's a picture of myself at happier times when we were actually meeting face to face at the church, and hopefully we can resume that sometime this year. Hopefully not too far in the future. So next slide, Dennis. We have some changes for today. We had initially, we were going to have door prizes only for the people who pre-registered. We understand that some people miss that information. They need to pre-register. So we're going to open it up, the door prizes later on, to everyone who's listening to this broadcast today. So and this is actually, Dennis, was one more before this? Could you go back? Go the other way, please. There we go. So some changes today. For the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to accept new registrants to be eligible for the door prizes. And to do this, just simply use the chat function that you'll see at the bottom of your screen, those of you that are watching on YouTube. And when you do enter something on chat, just say this is in your name. Don't put this is John Smith. Of course, put your name. This is John Q. Public or whatever, so we know, and so we can record your name, and we'll be able to enter them into the drawing at the end of this presentation. What remains the same is you must be in attendance online when we do the drawings. So as Steve just said a few minutes ago, please hang on and stay to the very end. We appreciate that. Okay, next, please. We will take questions during this presentation, and we will take questions during each of the speakers. So if you have any questions, similar to entering your name, just use the chat function. We'll be monitoring that. When you put the question in, please indicate on your question to which speaker the question is directed. And we will monitor the chat function, and we will attempt to get all the questions answered depending on the time remaining that we have for this presentation today. Okay, next, please. So let me talk about 2020 a little bit in a nutshell. HOA started off 2020 in wonderful shape. We were all ready. We had a great line of programs all set up to start, and we had advocacy program. It was in good shape, and of course, like all plans, they just went out the window. March 10th, basically almost a full year ago, was our last face-to-face HOA social. That was it. And on March 11th, again a year ago, WHO declared COVID-19 a pandemic, and that was for me personally, that was something else, because I was actually on a cruise ship at that time, and we weren't sure whether or not we were going to get off that cruise ship. So I'm sure a number of you can identify with that same issue. At that time, I had no idea what Zoom was even. I never heard the term Zoom. So a lot has changed in this 1 year. So once I got back, we ended up shutting everything down and adapting our HOA operations to COVID-19. And as the year went on, we learned to adapt again. And then we adapted again and continue to adapt through the whole year. Next slide, please. Next, okay. The biggest issues obviously were the social events. They were greatly impacted by COVID-19. We moved social events largely to outdoor venues. And here's a picture of a welcome orientation that we had at the HOA Pavilion. And that worked very well. But indoor events were canceled. Monthly socials were canceled. On a positive note, though, HOA Golf remained active throughout the year. And kudos to the golf team here, the entire golf department, for allowing us to enjoy golf through the whole last year. That was a huge benefit to living down in Tellico Village. Next slide, please. So as we entered 2021, we realized that we really needed to work on finding ways to promote social fellowship in our community. Everyone was basically locked up, cooped up in their house, and we needed to find ways of trying to bring social events to people. And so our main goal for this year, and we started in January actually, is to find in-person and virtual social events that can be safely conducted during the COVID-19 pandemic. That was our main goal. And of course, secondary goal was advocacy. We have a strong program, and you'll hear more about this from Mark Pantley shortly, but we wanted to continue working on these high impact and controversial topics by working with organizations throughout the village. So we had these two major goals. Next slide, please. But holding in-person events have been very difficult. Cold weather certainly affected our ability to have outdoor events. We couldn't have any events at the Tuggaloo Pavilion once it got cold. In addition, many of our volunteers, social planners, social event planners, haven't been comfortable running an inside event or outside for that matter as well. They were concerned about their own health, and certainly that's understandable. These are all volunteers, and if we can't find a volunteer willing to run an event, we can't put one on. We did reach out many times to others, members of HOA, to ask them if they would also want to volunteer to become an event coordinator, but so far that's been very difficult, and very few volunteers have stepped forward. Next, please. So what we did, since we couldn't handle couldn't have in-person events, we went to online events, and we've tried to offer a rich variety of online events starting this year, and Cheryl will talk more about these in a few minutes. But we attempted to do this to give something for people to do, and they were in various areas, and they've been very successful. So we plan right now to continue this on, even when COVID-19 goes away. We're going to continue having an educational online component to the HOA. Just one more reason to be a member of HOA. Next slide, please. So things are getting better day by day. With the warmer weather, it's now opening up outdoor venues and activities. Traditional venues, theaters are beginning to announce their schedules for 2021, which is very positive. They're a little later in the year, but we're watching and talking to all of them. And as soon as they open up, we will be there and starting to schedule activities. And with the vaccine rollout, event coordinators will likely feel more comfortable to plan and conduct events. We're hoping new volunteers will step forward, and more people will feel comfortable in attending events, including inside events. So very positive, getting better. So for 2021, to summarize this, we're going to restart as many in-person social events as feasible. We're going to continue to provide many online educational and social activities, and we're going to continue our strong advocacy program. So what can you do to assist HOA in achieving our goals? Well, volunteer, as I said earlier, volunteer. We need event coordinators. And don't worry about if you have done it before, you're worried about it, we'll train you. If there's something you want to do, please give your name to us and we'll help you get started and run an event. It's actually a lot of fun, and we look forward to new people helping out. And continue to support our activities and programs by renewing your membership every year. That's what you can do to help us. Next slide, please. So now I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl Warmbold, our VP of Social. Cheryl, it's all yours.
Thank you, Ken. Good information to know, and hopefully people will start volunteering. Let's talk about some of the upcoming events for March and April. We have a wonderful list of events that will engage your brain concentration. As we mature, remember, we need to keep our brain a little bit more active to keep it sharp. With our online classes, we've had great success. We've had a lot of wonderful reviews. We have a financial series that's ongoing. And if you look at what's being offered, the legal changes impacting seniors. That's something that probably everybody in Teleco needs to look at, because we're going to all fall in that category at some point. Making Medicare and Social Security easier. Wouldn't it be great if they'd answer the phone instead of make me go on the computer? Tax planning for the future and power of attorneys. This is one that's not only valuable for everybody, but it's one that we might have to use for somebody else that we love and care about. Then we have a history series that has also received wonderful reviews, and we're going to continue with that. The first one is genealogy. There's 2 different classes on this one. This is interesting so that you can examine your family lineage. You get to find out some really interesting things about your family. I'm not going to take it because I'm afraid I'd find out my brother was right. I truly am adopted. There's a Civil Wars series, and this series we're really proud to offer because it covers a lot of history. The next one is called Failed Leadership from September to November 1863. But the HOA wants you to also explore that creative path that maybe you have been thinking about this year at home. We have food and fine arts as well. The UT culinary classes are ones that you can participate with. They have some very popular chefs and wine sommeliers that will get you through new recipes. Maybe after a year of cooking, 365 days, you might want to explore different recipes out there. The wine pairings have been a big success. People who have participated in them have signed up for the next ones as well. We have arts and craft classes offered through Knoxville Fine Arts and Craft Center. Anything that kind of suits you for experimenting, trying a new craft to expand your brain, these are for you as well. The bluebirds, believe it or not, used to be as common as a robin, but they went into that endangered species, and now you can follow the series about how they've been successful at the conservation of the bluebirds. And one of my favorites I like to listen to is the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra. They really set the mood for a wonderful, wonderful evening. Next. HOA has some social events that are coming up. Remember, we want your brain to get back into shape, and social and physical activities are a good way to do that. My husband really wants more activities because over this past year, we've been together every day and we've caught up on all the things that he's been doing wrong for the last year. So we can start out with St. Patrick's Day. We have space available for people to participate in that. Just think you can go and get together with your friends and dine on some good Irish dishes. Try to say that a couple times, Irish dishes. Doesn't work very well. Trivia night and single, both fabulous ways to challenge your brain. Some of them are wait list only, but go ahead, sign up, get ready to get your brain back into place and exercise for your cheeks. Facebook, introduction to Facebook is a wonderful one that's being offered at the end of the month. This is a great way to connect with your family and friends that we haven't been able to connect with in person. And then we have the HOA Social coming up on April 13th. This will be a live at the TOQA. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, but we need you to go online and sign up for that. And next slide. We have our HOA Golf group is ready to roll. Punxsutawney Phil, told us we were going to have 6 more weeks of snow. Our HOA Golf group responded. They now have the HOA Gopher, and he says it's time to get to scramble. So sign up for 9 holes of fun and scramble with some new people and reunite with some old friends outside on the golf course. HOA is really pleased to be offering all these activities for our members. So all you have to do is go to the HOA, go to Teleca Life and get your brain and body active again. Hope to see you there. Next, we'd like to introduce, keep going. Sorry, next slide. I'm a little behind, you know, the learning curve is hard. And again, on the extra HOA page, you will find links to all these activities. Now I'm really pleased to introduce Mark Pantley. He's our Vice President of Advocacy, and he has a lot of good information for you. Take it away, Mark.
Thank you, Cheryl. So last year in 2020, we effectively restarted a focus on advocacy. And advocacy has been in the HOA for years and years and years as a primary area of focus, but it had sort of taken a back seat for a while. And last year it was decided to reinvigorate it. So last year, let's go to the next slide, Dennis. So last year we started up a number of activities to start to look at ways that we could help advocate for the homeowners here in the village. And one of them was around the election process. So let's go back one. Yeah, there, stay there. One was around the elections. So we had both the general elections and the POA elections, and we held a POA candidates forum. We sent out many updates on the voting process and how to vote and where to vote and things like that. And so that will be repeated in 2022, which is our next set of elections. This year will be effectively an off year, but that'll be an ongoing focus for us. The election processes are really important, and we'll have POA elections, of course, as you know, this year as in every year, but the general elections will be in 2022. Asian carp showed up about a year ago as a hot topic, and we spent some time researching it and trying to understand the players and the facts around carp, and we sent out a number of updates to the membership about that. We also sent a couple letters to the TVA board of directors expressing our desire for them to stay involved and continue to support efforts to control Asian carp. Drainage issues cropped up all across the village around some of the different construction areas. And those issues we brought to the, there were a lot of individual concerns and neighborhood concerns, which we then brought to the POA. One thing last year we decided to put some focus on was Kahidi. Kahidi is an important neighborhood in the village, and yet sometimes because it's far away from the main village, it doesn't quite get maybe as much attention as it should. So there was an issue like this that's been ongoing for a while around putting a stoplight in on Highway 411 at the Niles Ferry intersection. So we've been working with the HOA Highway Safety Committee to see if we could help push that forward and work with the city of Vanor and with TDOT and those to see if we can get some progress on getting that intersection, perhaps a stoplight put into that intersection. We've also been providing Monroe County updates, primarily with a focus into the readership of Kahidi. And they have their own distribution lists, their own social activities, and we've been tapped into that, and we've been working with them to help ensure that they get the information that they need. One area that was a bit unexpected, but it sort of cropped up as an area of opportunity was air quality. Several years ago, there was a group here in Loudoun County that was made up mostly of Tellico Village residents that focused on air quality, and they monitored the permit changes, and they tried to understand the types of air pollution in our area. Those people have all retired or aged out of that group, and the group had become largely inactive. But the last remaining person who was still active there approached HOA and asked if we would pick that up. So we did, and so we have tapped into the Tennessee environmental process in terms of getting monitoring permit changes notices of changes, and we've been starting to look at just the types of air pollution in our area here, trying to understand what do we have and is it a problem, and how should we be involved if there is opportunities to improve things in the future. The one amenity we have here in the village is the RV rental lot. It's up behind the public works space, and through the years, it's always had a long waiting list. And so through this last year, we've been working with the POA staff to see if we can improve the processes and also improve the availability of the lot. And so staff has responded. They've been cleaning up the lot. They've been creating spaces where maybe spaces didn't exist or they had kind of gotten lost. And they've been improving their processes. So it is getting better. They've got some more work to do. And we look forward to seeing some continued improvements there. The other thing is we worked with the POA on was creating a meeting room booking system. And so it kind of came in just at the right time to be a helpful tool to help with booking meeting rooms. And they've used it also in the rec center and some different areas. And I think in the future, as we start to open up again, we'll see more use of this. But it's a good tool, and it's in the right time in the right place. The same thing with the help spot system. If you ever need something, the help spot's the way to do it, because it creates the tracking and the accountability and the transparency to make sure that your needs are covered and they don't get lost. And so we're past the old days where you call and hope something happens. Now you can log a ticket and it'll get tracked and you'll get response, and you also get a chance to comment on how well the response works. So it's quite a good system. And credit POA for working hard on this and putting in a good system. Next slide, Dennis. So for 2021, we're continuing with some of those efforts like the RV lot, things like that, but we're also got a couple of new opportunities. One of them is that the Long Range Planning Committee is going to be refreshing their strategic plan next year. They did this a few years ago, and they only do this periodically, but they have it scheduled for next year. So this year, they're looking for ideas to include in that plan activity so that when they hold their workshops and their forums and do their surveys and all that, they have they have good ideas put forward that people then could debate and comment on, things like that. So those could be examples like a community center or a bowling alley or bocce ball courts, or increasing our green space. That could be a common area within the village. Or it could be creating boundary buffers around the village. That could be something like commercial development. It could be a town square. Could be anything. And so what we want to do this year is to work with Long Range Planning to help them to build out a robust list of ideas. This is all visionary stuff, things that we should be thinking of really for the next 10 or 20 years. Where are we going, and what do we want the village to be in the future? So it's not like, fix your traffic sign or fix a stoplight or some of these sort of rudimentary things that are sort of day-to-day stuff. That's for the help spot system. What we're looking for here is the big stuff. And so if you have an idea, we'd be happy to take that and carry it forward, or you can talk to the POA Long Range Planning Committee directly. Either way, they're the ones who get these ideas, and they're the ones that hopefully can then use that as part of their strategic planning process in the future. So we want to support them, and we want to help them come up with some good ideas and things that we could do to help make the village better. Another one that's going on right now is TVA is refreshing their land use plan. The last time they did it was in 2000, and so it only 20 years. And so they're updating their land use plan. They're looking for comments. They're due by the March 28th. This has to do with Tellico Reservoir or Tellico Lake. And so anything that you might think of in terms of ways the TVA could improve the reservoir or the watershed or the lake, depending on how you think about it, then we're thinking of putting in a letter to them. And a couple things we thought about already, although they're not actually part of the land use plan, we think it's a good opportunity to put in some comments to TVA. One is the Halls Bend Trailhead, which is sometimes called the Boy Scout Trails. And if you've used it or you drive by it, you notice the parking lot's always overloaded. And we think that there could be some improvements there in terms of maybe expanding the lot and improving the safety of that area. The other thing is more general, which is erosion around the lake. And there's a lot of common area that TVA manages, and we'd like to encourage them to continue to work on improving erosion control around the lake, particularly those areas that they control directly themselves. But it could be any idea, and so if you have one, I'd be happy to be good to hear it, and we'd be interested in including it in our communication to them. One area that's sort of an outgrowth of the RV storage work that we've been working with the POA on is capacity. There continues to be a long wait list. It's typically 1 to 2 years to get in there. And so they've always had a project on effectively what they call below the line to expand the lot. And there is land up there behind the public works area that was sort of set aside for this if we ever needed it. And so the question is, do we need more capacity for the RV storage lot? So that's something we're going to be working on this year and talking with POA about, and to see whether that's something that needs to be taken into the budget process and turned into a real project or not. Another area that's sort of related to that is storage units. As you drive around the county, either Monroe or Loudoun County, you see these storage unit places everywhere, and they're all full. And so if you're in need of a storage unit, perhaps because you're moving into the village, or you're moving out, or you just got too much stuff and your garage is full too, then there's an ongoing need for perhaps more storage units. And the question that we want to ask is, should that be an amenity within the village? It could be something that would be a good offering to the village. It also could be a moneymaker for the POA. They're relatively cheap to build and employ because they're simple structures, and yet that could be an amenity that is something that we could all use and make use of. So it's something we're thinking about. We may put out a survey to the membership about this one just to ask and see what people think about it. But it's an idea that just surfaced here recently, so we want to think about that one a little bit. So these are just a sample of some of the things that we're starting to work on this year. We're kind of looking for opportunities. We want to look for ways to improve the village. A lot of it is sort of short term, but a lot of it needs to be long term. And so we're looking for sort of the stuff to take us into the next step. And if you have an idea, appreciate hearing about it. And we'd love to talk to you. Next step, the next slide, Dennis. Okay, so that's it for advocacy. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Muddy Boots team. Carol and Lisa, you want to pick it up?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lisa.
I'm Carol.
And together we're representing Muddy Boots. Thank you, Cheryl, and the HOA committee for allowing us to present today. We are the coordinators for Muddy Boots for this year, along with, I guess we better give kudos to our husbands, Don and Pat, who are helping us also, and they're in the background. One of the things I suppose everybody here in the HOA would like to know is really, what is Muddy Boots? Muddy Boots is a fun, very casual hiking group. We focus on hikes that are primarily 3 to 5 miles in length and anywhere from easy to moderate. It's a great introduction to hiking if you're kind of new to the village, or even if you haven't been involved in a lot of hiking. And it's a great way to meet a lot of really fellow hikers here in the village. In addition to getting outside for that fresh air and exercise, we give you a great opportunity to explore the Smokies, Tennessee State Parks, the Cumberland Mountains, the Cherokee National Forest, and a lot of other great surrounding areas. So it's a great opportunity to see a lot of our beautiful country around Tellico Village.
So who can hike the Muddy Boots? It's anybody can hike it. So we hike the second Monday of the month. We just meet at the Chota Center at 7:45, and we leave at 8 o'clock from there. December, January, and February, we do leave at 8:45 and leave at 9, just because it's a little bit colder at that point. But the rain date is usually would be the third Monday of the month. And we used to always carpool, but because of COVID, we don't carpool. But hopefully that will be starting up again.
We hope, keeping our fingers crossed, aren't we not? Yeah. Well, how do you find out about Muddy Boots? That is a great question. We actually have a web page that is within the Teleco Life. So if you log on to telecolife.org, which I'm sure many of you have been on, I would suggest if you haven't created an account on Teleco Life that you would do so. If you scroll down to the within the Teleco Life website, if you scroll down to under Villages and Clubs, you'll see our Muddy Boots little icon. And if you click on that, it'll take us to our webpage, which we did not design. We have nothing to do with that. We supply only the information. In there are some directions on how to get onto the Muddy Boots email list. And if you'll click on that, I think it'll be pretty self-explanatory to take you and walk you through how to get onto our email list. Once you're on that email list, Carol or I, each month, about a week to a week and a half prior to the month, or the hike, excuse me, we'll be sending out an email to you, and that email will talk about a detailed description of our next hike coming up, where we're going to go, and any other important details, directions, etc. And we also send our information to the POA, and usually the Tuesday prior from the hike, the POA publishes in the Telegram the same general information that we send out to you on the Muddy Boots email list. So great way to get involved and find out about us.
Mm-hmm. It'll keep you informed. So if you want to do the hike, you just show up. You don't have to sign up at all. You just show up the morning of. But have some sturdy hiking boots. We recommend that. We also recommend hiking poles. They're not mandatory, but it's always a good idea to have that. You want to have, better footing, it helps with the balance. And most of the trails in Tennessee have a lot of roots and rocks. So bring water and a trail snack. We would just meet for lunch afterwards at a local restaurant, but that's been out too. Sometimes we do meet for lunch. We have a lunch during the middle of the hike, depending on if there's a nice spot to stop. So do bring at least a snack or a lunch. And I think once we will go back to going to restaurants, and
we hope,
yes.
Just like everyone else, we hope that we can have some opportunities to visit some restaurants locally around where we hike. So, we want you to participate in Muddy Boots, and we're very passionate about Muddy Boots. We do want to give you a little bit of an idea of some other opportunities within the village for some hiking. You may have heard about the TV hikers, or the Teleco Village hikers. They're a great hiking group. They are a little more challenging, I would say, than Muddy Boots. They tend to be 8 to 10 mile hikes, and maybe a little more elevation challenges. Mm-hmm. So, but a great opportunity if you're ready to take to that next level. Mm-hmm. We also have the East Shore hikers. Many of you may have heard about them. They took a little break and are coming back next week. They hike on the third Tuesday of the month, and they take an opportunity to go across to the other side of the lake. Many of you may not know, we have about 34 to 35 miles of hiking trails that were all created by volunteers there. And each month, East Shore does a section of that, 2 to 3 miles roughly. They meet on the third Tuesday again of the month. They depart at 9 o'clock from the Poplar Springs boat ramp. So if you get there around 8:45, again, don't have to sign up for that opportunity at all. You want to talk about the walk and talk?
Oh, I would love. So another thing is they have a walk and talk, and that is just, they meet every day in a different neighborhood in Teleco Village. So like maybe Monday, it's always in Tokwa, Tuesday, it's in a different, so they do 3 miles, and it is different paces. Everybody kind of splits up into whatever pace that works best for them. And it's a very social group. And especially if you're a new villagers, it is great because they have a lot of experience. They will If you have any questions, they will tell you anything you need to know about anything from getting your hair cut to.
It's next door walking.
It's true. It's next door walking in it. So it is great for new villagers. But yeah, and it's very casual. They do it Monday through Friday. If you go to the Welcome Center, they do have a little cardboard flyer that will tell you which neighborhood it is and the directions to the spot that they meet. And they do it rain, shine, winter, it doesn't matter. They go year round, and they're great. They're very, very, very great. The Wellness Center also has Simon. He started doing hikes every Friday
mornings. Uh-huh.
And so he does the hiking trails through Tellico Village. And so he's been doing those. Those have worked out
Yeah,
well.
right now, I think Simon just sent out an email that he will continue that through the rest of the month. So through March, I've hiked with them a few times. They meet at the kiosk. There's a new kiosk right next to the Wellness Center. It's a great little, the volunteers put that together. You should go look at it, even if you're not a hiker. It's really pretty. A lot of wonderful information about nature and so forth. And at 9:30, they meet on Friday mornings. Simon will be doing that through the rest of May, or excuse me, we're not May, March. And again, taking advantage of all those wonderful trails around the Wellness Center and in our village that were created by, I believe it's called the Chain Gang, and they're a group of volunteers. Thank goodness we have them here in the community. So, I just think that we'd love to see you at Muddy Boots.
Yes.
Please come join us. Yesterday, we went up to Big Ridge State Park. We had a great hike, and I believe we took 41 people. And so we had a great group of people, and we always see new faces all the time. So you always come and join us. And if that particular hike doesn't work for you, look for another one and join us. If you're capable of walking for a couple hours, would you say, Carol?
Yeah.
And you can climb a few flights of stairs. You're going to be okay with us. You give us a try. And anything else you want to add about it?
We would love to see you. We have, it's a good group.
It's a good group.
Very social.
Yep, very social.
There's no strangers on that group.
No, there's not. But no. And if anybody has any questions for us, we're happy to answer them at this time.
Well, Carol and Lisa, thank you so much for the presentation. I'm hoping some of our members will be able to join you on the next hike. And thank you for pointing out all the other walking activities that we have here in the village. And good luck. We'll see you on the trails.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
As Muddy Boots talked about, it's a great way to get your brain back and engaged after this long year. So next we have another way of engaging our brain in new activities, and that's using the computer. The computer can be very challenging, but there's help in the Tellico Village Computer Club to help you make your computer a fun activity. They've helped me so much with all my questions and contacts that now I can understand the different websites I go to. I actually understand now that I am like a website. I use cookies to improve my performance every day. So here to explain about how you can learn about websites in your computer to engage your brain is Tellico Village Computer Club President Larry Junkin.
Hi there, and thank you so much. Thanks to the HOA for putting this together. It's a great segue, I think, into hopefully better times as we all become vaccinated, hopefully. But a little bit about the club. We're 100% volunteer based. We're a state registered 501c3 nonprofit, and we've been in existence since 2001. Primarily, our mission is to provide technology assistance and education services to our 1,400 members. We also provide computers to underprivileged children and families, and I'll talk a bit more about that later. Almost daily, we operate under a misconception that people think they have to be a geek or a computer nerd to join the club. And it's entirely the opposite. There are three primary reasons to join the club. and they're all about helping you with your technology needs. First of those would be the first level support team we have. We have a group of about 12 experts in Windows, Mac, iPhone, iPad, Android, anything. And those folks used to provide in-home technology support prior to the pandemic, but now our support's actually better, it's faster, and of course safer through the use of remote control software. We use TeamViewer, which is a global product that many help desks use, and we can access your Windows, your Mac, your iPhone, iPad, whatever it is remotely, help you solve your problems. And the installation instructions for this product are on our website at tvcuc.org. Think of it as having your own personal geek, but it doesn't cost you $150 to have someone from the Geek Squad come to your house. One of the things we asked in a survey last fall, or the end of last summer, was things we could do better. And one of the primary things that members voted on, they wanted more education. So now we're full bore into a new educational effort. We're focusing on how-to articles, video presentations, things that'll help you better cope with your technology issues. What we want to do is help you tame technology. Our videos are recorded and hosted on our website. You can go up there and read about them, click on them, watch them. But one of the most exciting and fun things for all of us in the Computer Club is our Technology Access Program, TAP. It's a community outreach program we started back in 2007. And what the group of volunteers that works in TAP does, they restore and give away computer systems to underprivileged children and families, both in our neighboring community and all over the world. Since its inception, this nationally recognized program has refurbished about 9,000 computers, helping over 15,000 deserving children have access to a computer that they wouldn't otherwise have. And we do this through generous donations from both individuals here in the village and other places, membership dues, and significant grants from charitable organizations like United Way, Ronald McDonald House, Walmart, Good Neighbor Shop. I'll know I'm leaving somebody out, many others. We also receive equipment donations from hospitals and businesses, places that are upgrading their computer systems, and they'll give us the older ones. We refurbish those, and they're repurposed and they get a whole new life. Also significantly, we're not a Windows-only computer club. We have a Mac special interest group, which is an active club subset of about 350 people, members. They do presentations on topics related to the Apple ecosystem. It's an excellent resource, whether you're a new or a veteran Mac user, or you're thinking about jumping ship and you want to start using a Mac. Club membership, very simple. Dues are $20 a year. We're like all the other clubs, we're up in Teleco Life to join. $20 a year covers everybody in your family, every device you have, your phone, your tablet, your computers. For this $20, you're going to get first level support. You have a problem, something you don't understand, something's broken, you call, leave a voicemail, it's transcribed, it's sent out to the first level support team. And we are, in the old days, we would actually dispatch someone to your house. But now, of course, we don't. You'll also get a monthly newsletter, access to all of our technology education resources, and we send out flash emails just every so often, especially for something of an emergent nature that's going on in the technology world. And you can know that your dues go to help underprivileged children and families have a computer. When a computer right now is likely the only way these folks have to interact with their family and their friends, or to further their own education. Like all the clubs, we're always looking for volunteers in many areas, especially education right now. So if you're interested in helping us out, you don't have to be a geek. You just have to have a desire to help, and we'll train you. Send an email to admin@tvcuc.org, and we'll talk to you about it. And again, we'll take any questions anyone has, and that's it.
Thank you, Larry. We greatly appreciate it. Those of us that are challenged by a computer, you know, you could always offer a cookie to anybody who wants to join.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Cynthia Rogers. She's going to talk to us about Our Place, the adult day center that is going to be part of our landscape soon. It's been a while since we've had an update, so Cynthia, we're really looking forward to hearing what's on the agenda for this wonderful place.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about this. This is a very, very rewarding project for me and a much needed project in this area. You know, hearing the diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia is devastating, not only to the person that the diagnosis was aimed at, but also to the entire family. This is one of the diseases that really does affect the entire family. Usually after a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia, the lifespan is anywhere from 2 to 10 years, but it's also been documented that someone could live with Alzheimer's for up to 20 years. The financial, emotional, and physical burden on the family, on the person, on the caregiver are tremendous. Research does show that you can delay going to full-time memory care units with structured activities. Is actually going to be offering. Our Place is an adult day center designed for those suffering from early to mid-stage Alzheimer's, dementia, and their caregivers. I don't know what's on the next slide. Could you go to the next slide, please? It doesn't look like everything is showing. There we go. Okay, we got it. It's going to be located at the intersection of routes 444 and 72. It's right in front of Food Lion. We're anticipating the groundbreaking being somewhere in the end of May, the beginning of June. The estimated cost to construct the facility is anywhere from $900,000 to $1.1 million. We're currently in the fundraising stage. The good news is we've raised almost half of that amount of the construction cost, thanks to the generosity of people living in Loudoun and Monroe counties and surrounding counties. And that's the area that Our Place is going to be covering, Loudoun and Monroe counties and some of the areas. It's going to be offered, one of the things that is found that people suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, they need structure, they need socialization, and they need enrichment. Our adult day center, Our Place, is going to be staffed by 2 full-time, highly trained professionals dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia patients, plus part-time people and volunteers. The activities are going to be designed to stimulate the brain. There's going to be activities that involve music, arts and crafts, as well as fun activities for socialization. There'll be parties, there'll be things to celebrate, for example, holidays. As well as visits by comfort dogs. Okay, next slide, please. Based on the generosity of some of our people, some of the past fundraisers were a Ride to Remember, sponsored by the First Baptist Church. They donated through Charlie Bernard's rides and his motorcycle rides and some of the other things that he did, over $100,000. The Lions Club had a matching program, and that ran for about 6 weeks, the end of last year. And if you've been to some of the sporting games, you've seen some tip jars around. Other people have raised money. I know I myself had 2 garage sales, and I donated 10% of all of my proceeds to Our Place, as well as I had a tip jar. Well, in addition to some of the past fundraisers, the ongoing fundraisers, next slide, please, where you may have seen is the BRIC program. The building is going to have next to it a legacy garden, and there will be plaques and benches and trees there that will have names inscribed of people either in honor of or in memory of. The brick program, to purchase a brick, it's either $200 or $225. You'll have up to 4 lines of engraving and a medallion. Right now, the Shepherd of the Lakes is coordinating that whole thing for us, and they have taken this program out to other churches. The other program is the Legacy program, and that is for donations between $1,000 all the way up to $50,000. And with that, you get a plaque, or you can get a tree or a bench named after you. So that's going to be an ongoing program. Those 2 programs will be happening even after the building is open. Next slide, please. We have some really exciting things coming up, and the first one on the list is something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's the online silent auction. It'll be open for preview from April 16th to the 21st, so you can log into the website, and the website will be greatly marketed, so you'll know what that is. So you'll be able to go through, create an account, and pick out all the things that you absolutely and positively have to have. And then bidding will be open Thursday, I believe it is, April 22nd through Monday night, the 26th. And there are some really, really exciting things on it. One of the things that you could bid on is a week long in someone's condo in West Palm Beach, Florida. Another one is a ride in a 1946 World War II vintage plane. A ride on a pontoon boat through the lock, and your destination is TikTok Ice Cream in Loudon. We have overnights in Chattanooga. We have a wine tasting for up to 20 people. We're going to be putting together a lot of gift certificates from various restaurants, and we're going to bundle them as the taste of. So we'll have a taste of Lenore City, a taste of Loudon, a taste of Sweetwater, etc. We've got autographed footballs, baseballs, and basketballs. We have car and or boat detailing, 3 different walking tours of Loudon, a British tea, gourmet dinner, and for those golfers in the audience, a golf trail. So foursome at 5 different golf courses. Also on the agenda would be a motorcycle joker run, and that's going to be held May 1st or 2nd. Pitch and putt, another activity for golfers, May 24th through the 30th. Chili tasting, and that'll be in conjunction with the Tellico Village Car Club. That'll be sometime in June. And the Historic Loudon Theater, one Sunday afternoon in June, we're still working out the dates, they're going to hold a Christian music concert. There'll be 2 performances, one at 3 o'clock and the other one at 6 o'clock. 100% of the proceeds will be donated to Our Place. In August, there'll be a ladies 18-hole golf tournament. I believe that's happening in Kahidi. And the Rotary Club will be sponsoring the Walk to Remember again in October. Next slide, please. So we can't do this without your help. So please, for more information, for more detailed information, and to keep up and running with what's going on, please visit our website, www.ourplacetn.org. Visit our Facebook page. We're on Amazon Smile, so if you purchase through Amazon, do a search for Our Place Company, and you can designate that as the charity of your choice. If you have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of me. My email address is cynthia@ourplacetn.org. Or if you want general information, another email address is info@ourplacetn.org. Thank you, and I'm available to answer any questions you might have. Okay, I guess that's it.
Thank you, Cynthia. It was wonderful information to have the update. We'll be watching for the gold shovel to start the construction right outside of Food Lion. This is a very valuable place that will be a much needed area for so many people, including those caregivers that need some time off. So we hope to be able to get some people to help volunteer and donate towards this wonderful adult daycare. Appreciate it. Okay. Next, I know that Our friend Jackie Starnes has been working very hard on securing us some door prizes. This is one of the things that we do provide, and thank you, our membership, for coming and joining us. I know that today was a first, being virtual, and Jackie is really getting good at her computer skills, learning how to figure out her end of this stuff. Let's turn it over to Jackie so she can hand out the door prizes.
Here.
I don't, there you are. Thank you, Jackie.
Did you see? Wonderful. Okay. Well, top of the afternoon to all ya. My name is Jackie O. Starnes. Kind of everybody is Irish during March. And I'm very privileged to be able to bring some fun and joy into your life today. So let's begin. By signing up on Telego Life, you've been assigned a ticket for one of our special draws. Or if you join during the first 10 minutes through YouTube on chat, you've also been entered. Now, we've got some promotions this month from some of our old favorites. And let me give you a description of them so you'll know what you have a chance to win. Okay, first, well, one of them is Salon New, which is a full-service salon with many spa features without the spa prices. Men and women are invited to experience a relaxing environment and great results. It's a $40 gift certificate. The next is the Lily Pad, which is a premier destination in Sweetwater for the latest designer clothes and fashion trends, and which we all know changes daily, as does their inventory. It's a small town store with a big city flair, offering customer service next to none. That one has a $25 gift certificate. And then we have the Rendezvous Restaurant. It's a good choice for a meal within our own little village. Chef Matt and Rachel has a great menu to fulfill any taste you may have. It's a $25 gift certificate. And then there's Gallagher's Spa MD at Tellico Village. This is where you can set aside 60 minutes to enjoy a relaxing massage with Phyllis. COVID-19 protocols are strictly enforced, so there's no worries. And right now, we could all use a little calm in our lives. This is an $80 value. Now, just to make it clear, all the gift certificates are valid for a year, so not to worry. So here's how it's going to be. Once I pick your name out of my nice little green bowl, you will have 1 minute to respond. And all you have to do is just call out, I'm a winner. And when you do, I'm going to tell you that you need to draw between the numbers 1 and 4. Each prize has a number associated with it. So it's a choice, you just don't know what you're going to get. And then I'll make sure to get your name, and we'll make sure that they get to you one way or another. So let's start if everybody's ready. Okay. And back here you can see again, I haven't been able to decorate in a long time, so I went a little crazy on this one. But these are just the names of the businesses also. Okay, so for the first prize, we have Marjorie Bornes, B-O-R-N-E-S. Are you out there, Marjorie?
If you are, just use chat, please. Respond via chat.
Oh, right. Respond via chat. Excuse me. Thank you. I'm very anxious. Now, if unfortunately Marjorie doesn't let us know that she's here, we will do just like we do at the other socials, and we'll just draw another. So, okay. About 15 seconds gone. Remember, if there's anything that you would like to bring to my attention for people who would like to donate, the host has asked you to start your video. Okay, so they did. All right, we're up to about 45 and counting. I'll have to work on the next one here to see if anybody's there, waiting for these wonderful, wonderful gifts. Okay. I'd say a minute's up. How about you? Are we close? Okay. And we are. Okay. Here's another name, George Biliskov, Biliskov. Are you there, George? Love somebody to win. And do it by chat. Okay. We still have businesses who have been, out of business for quite a long time, let's put it that way. And they are trying to get themselves back into it. So I'm sure that we will have these businesses that will trying to get back to us, and we'll have more to choose from as we go on. Excuse me. Okay.
I think what's happened, Jackie, a lot of people have taken advantage of the beautiful weather today and may have gotten off a little sooner. So why don't you wait just less time than that, because that's still plenty of time to respond, okay?
Can you do 30 seconds for me then? Do you have something you can do 30 seconds?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I understand. Oh, there I am. Okay, how about Kathy Milan, Milan? Well, they'll be coming through the chat right here on this chat. Is that right? Just to verify. Yeah, okay.
Okay, pull another one, please.
All righty. All right. Okay, guys. How about Holly Varland, Varland? Oh boy.
Well, I saw Holly Varland's name on here earlier.
Yep. I know. I realize that. On when you say you saw it on that.
Okay, she's on there. She just replied. She's a winner.
Oh, there you go. All right. Okay, but now we have to ask her. What number would she like? 1 through 4. What would you like, Holly? Yes, you are her winner. Okay, Holly, what number would you like, though? Between 1 and 4. How about number 2? All right, number 2. Well, this is a good one. You'll be getting a $25 gift certificate to the lily pad. So you're marked down for the lily pad, and I will be contacting you. Congratulations. You know, Easter's coming up, so you might want to go there and check out for a new outfit. Okay, next one. Jerry Fox. Oh, too bad. Ellen just missed that one, that one place that she loves so much. Jerry Fox, are you around? You're welcome, Holly. Come on, Jerry, do something for Ellen.
Okay, apparently he's not there. Pull another one if you would.
All right. Bruce Cox. Hey, Bruce. I'm looking to have you so I can give these away. Okay, he's watching with Ellen.
That was
Okay.
Jerry. So Jerry, yep, Jerry. Okay, Jerry was
Okay.
there.
Yeah, so Jerry, what number would you like? 1, 3, or 4? Ellen, you gotta pick a number. You can't pick the restaurant. 1, 3, or 4?
In the meantime, draw another name, please.
Got it? Okay. Okay. Okay, how about Lucian Borns? Well, if one person didn't get it, maybe the other person can. Ellen, you have to pick a number. 1, 3, or 4. 4. Okay, number 4. Sorry, you get to go to the Gallagher Spa for a massage. That'll be worth it for you. Wonderful. I'm glad you got that. I'm sure you could use it. Okay, have we got anything from?
Okay, pick another one.
Yep,
Didn't
okay.
respond.
Okay. Jan Doherty. Woohoo! I know you're there, Jan. Okay, well. Dennis, I'm sure is going to let you get in there. Yay. Okay, good for you, Ellen. You got that. Okay, Jan, we're still waiting for you, though. We need a 1 or a 3. They're both good.
She said 1.
Okay, number 1. You're going to the salon anew with a $40 gift certificate. Good job.
Okay, draw another, please.
1 second, okay.
Last one, drum roll, please.
Last one. Okay, Carolyn Hamm, Hamm. Okay, I guess she doesn't have to worry about choosing. Okay, Carolyn, we're waiting. This is just the beginning, everybody. Remember, we'll have good ones for the next social on, let's see, what'd you say, April 13th?
Okay, draw another one.
Okay.
Oh, no, she's here. She's here. She's there.
Okay. Okay, Carolyn, you get to have the $25 gift certificate to the Rendezvous restaurant. So we are all set. And I thank all these businesses for giving these gift certificates, especially in these hard times. Don't forget to promote them. Go visit them. They could use your help. I guess we're done.
Thank you, Jackie. It's a lot of work to go and get all these promotions, and we greatly appreciate for all the HOA and its members. And the last slide will be all about HOA is going to do a in-person social on April 13th. Yay! We're going to be at the Toqua Pavilion, so we will follow some of the guidelines of making sure we don't have it overpacked. We want you to go online, Teleco Life, and sign up for the April 13th social. If we have too large of a crowd, we'll go ahead and have 2 separate sessions. The exact same information will be shared. We'll have adult beverages. We're going to have appetizers for you. It'll be nice to be able to socialize outdoors with our friends and be able to get back to a new normal. We want to thank everybody tonight, Ken and Mark and all of our speakers, for giving us wonderful information about what's going on in Teleco and ways that we can improve our brain concentration and get involved with other activities. We want to thank you again for tonight, and we hope to see you all on April 13th. Have a great evening.